Hey, what's up guys, it's Disturbed, and today I'm going to be comparing LMGs and assault rifles to see which is the better choice for patch 1.3. As many of you probably know, both LMGs and assault rifles will be getting buffs in the new update, and there's a lot of confusion surrounding which will be the better weapon, so I thought that I would clear that up in this video. Starting off, let's take a look at the buffs that both of the guns are going to get. LMGs are going to be getting an additional 20 to 25% damage bonus to enemies that are out of cover, which I consider a flat out damage bonus because 95% of NPCs and players that you're going to be shooting at are out of cover, so essentially they're getting an additional 20 to 25% extra damage buff. While on the other hand, assault rifles are getting 20 to 25% additional enemy armor damage, and what enemy armor damage does, it just basically increases your damage done to all NPCs while they still have their armor bar up, which is about 95% of their overall health. So this 2 is basically a 20 to 25% damage bonus to NPCs. But enemy armor damage doesn't work against other players, so if you're wondering what would be the better pick in PvP, LMGs are better, hands down, so feel free to end the video now if that's all you're worrying about. But when talking about NPCs, the buffs for both LMGs and ARs are basically the exact same thing. So to determine which is the best choice, we have to compare the two. So the LMG I'm going to be using to compare it with is an L86, which is known to be the best LMG into the game due to its high rate of fire, its faster reload speed, and its high firearms damage scaling. Another great LMG, just if you were wondering, is the RPK-74 because of its higher rate of fire and its bigger magazine size, but its damage doesn't scale as well as a L86 does, so the L86 is a bit better in terms of its damage. Every other LMG, in my opinion, it just isn't worth touching because the damage is just too low, along with the rate of fire being a lot slower. So the L86 and the RPK are the only ones worth using. Either way, we're going to be comparing this 204 L86 with a 163 AK-74. The AK-74 isn't the best assault rifle in the game. I just chose it to compare it with because its stats are very similar to that of the L86's, and it just makes it a lot easier for me to compare. Also, it's a 163 just because I couldn't find a 204 version, but it's still fine for comparing, and you'll see why in a minute here. Now, before I start comparing them, I just want you guys to know that all the things I'm going to be showing you aren't being swayed by weapon talents or any gear set bonuses or anything like that. You can see that both of these guns don't have any weapon talents, and I don't have any bonuses, so that wouldn't change my testing at all. Alright, so for the damage, the L86, it has 8,516 base damage, while the AK-74 has 8,845 base damage. You could just subject that to a bad roll, but keep in mind the AK is only 163 gear score, and if it were 204 gear score, it would probably have around 10 to 11k base damage, so already the AK is winning in that category. Now if we look at the RPM, the L86 has 610 rounds per minute and the AK has 600. It's only a difference of 10, which really doesn't mean that much in terms of damage. Also, the magazine sizes of the weapons are both 30, so neither of them have the upper hand there. Now if we go to compare the weapon stats themselves, firstly you can see that the AK equipped, it has 100% headshot damage, but with the L86 it has just 75% headshot damage, and that's because that ARs have a built-in 25% additional headshot damage, which is basically just like having a free brutal talent just for using an assault rifle. So yet again, another win for the assault rifle. As for the accuracy, the AK has 44 while the L86 has 54, so there's a point for the L86, but accuracy really doesn't do that much in terms of an extra damage boost, but either way there's a bonus for LMGs. Now comparing their stability, the AK has 39 while the L86 has 37, so they're essentially the same thing. And then we're going to be looking at optimal range, which is basically how far a distance you can shoot a target before your damage starts to drop off, and the AK has 32 meters while the L86 has 26 meters. So the AK has 6 additional meters, which can actually be pretty helpful in a lot of situations, so there's another point for the AK. Now looking at the reload times, the AK has a 2.9 second reload and the L86 has a 3 second reload. Again, the AK wins by a tenth of a second. It's not that much, but still a win there. So in summary, the AK won in almost every category. It had more base damage, slightly lower RPM, which really isn't that much of a big deal, but a 25% additional bonus to headshot damage that LMGs don't have. It has slightly less accuracy than the LMG, which doesn't really matter that much. It has higher stability, higher optimal range, and a faster reload time. So essentially the AK won by a mile because if it were a 204 it would have much higher base damage, and the built-in 25% headshot damage is just a godsend for your overall DPS, along with the fact that higher optimal range and stability can help with your DPS in many situations. And that's not even to mention the fact that the AK isn't even the best assault rifle in the game. If you were to compare it with say an M4, a Scar L, an LVOAC, all those high-end performing assault rifles would leave the LMGs in the dust. The fact of the matter is that the buffs to both LMGs and ARs are essentially the same thing in PvE, giving you no real reason to use an LMG over an assault rifle because assault rifles are just way much better. The only reason you'd use an LMG now would be for PvP, but against NPCs, like I said before, assault rifles will still win by a long shot. Anyways guys, that's going to be it for today. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you did enjoy, please drop a like and subscribe for videos similar to this one. I'll see you later guys.